So si tumekubaliana 2042 hii ACSAP ndio itatengeneza presidency. Mimi na nyinyi, mimi nakuwa rais, deputy mnanipatia, mimi nitakubali yoyote yule, alafu mawaziri tunachagua pamoja, si ndio? Na nimeona tuko na Attorney General, wakili mdogo, tuko na Grace, tuko na Jane, wakili wako wengi, si hata nimejua mawakili. Nani mwingine anataka nijue kozi yake? Najua daktari hapa, is my good doctor. Any other? Yes, Tum. Wewe ni engineer, tuko na engineer Tum. Niko na DJ hapa wa Nairobi. Wewe ni finance pia. DJ unafanya finance? Mungu wangu. Ni kama hii nchi tutaipoteza, but I know haiwezi potea. So I was joking. So guys, I want us first to learn ACSAP itself. Ndio tukianza kuitisha vitu zingine Wednesday na kesho to go sure what we are speaking of, sindio? So this is more of an identity of the Association of County Students Association Presidents Kenya. It's the identity workshop, and we'd like first to start with who we are and who are we? So who are we? We are a collective voice and leadership of county students associations across Kenya, a unifying platform representing student leadership, policy engagement and youth transformation at the grassroots level, county and national levels. We are a bridge between students and policy makers and the architects of an equitable future for the young people through advocacy, innovation and empowerment. Hiyo empowerment yenu hatujaisahau. Iko ndani kabisa. Difference ni vile tutaifanya, si sawa? So basically ACSAP is more of a collective voice for the leadership of county students association across the country. So that means the 47 counties of them. So being a voice, it is providing a platform to unite a unifying platform representing student leadership. So it's just basically, previously we had KUSO, we have had, sijui najua kuna KUSO 3, kuna ingine ya ule jamaa alikuwa president KU, all those. But they basically address tumbo za watu saa zingine, si ndio? So ACSAP is creating a platform for the representation of student leadership. And for us to have impact, we are based ourselves at the county level, because in my realization, personally as a president, and what we agreed as National Executive Council, the challenge is that people or students from Turkana pass through, they are not similar to those that my people from Taita will go through, sindio? But there is a certain common point of all these challenges in terms of education, because I have a student in KU, Elbas is in KU, so akileta zile challenge zake za Turkana, mimi wangu alete kutoka Taita, wakiketi pamoja, unapata there is a commonness in the same, sindio? So we focus on your background so that we can get the real ground touch, the real grassroots touch of the voices that we are collectively addressing for. So we representing student leadership, policy engagement, just to cite in but a few examples from the leadership training that you have had, we have seen most of you get into policy engagement, sindio? Si wengi wenu mmeenda mkaanza kuingililia mambo ya county budgeting, county planning, mkaanza kufanya proposals and petitions to the county government and county assemblies, sindio? So that is focus on policy engagement, and not to forget myself, Faith, Peter, and other presidents who are, I can see some here. Oginga. There was someone, amenipotea, even Kaindi there. We did a petition to the National Assembly on the bill of ndengu farming, because we come from regions that are affected by farming of dengu, na mkulima anauza 80, ikifika huko ikifanywa value addition kidogo tu, mkulima huyo mwenye amenunua ashauza 300 kilo, so wazazi wetu kidogo wameumia. So those are some of the policies we've been engaging in. And youth transformation so youth transformation, I guess that's from the leadership training, also the imagination of power. I really loved Chilele akisema hapa, piga simu, mwambie utapiga simu juu na utasaidika. Sinsa, I'm just conceptualizing how I'll not teach you Elbas how to swim. He's already swimming. You can copy from him. And then these are the grassroots level, from the ward representation that we carry along from our counties all the way to the county level to the national level. So we are more of a bridge. All of us, not Msongori, not NEC, my guys. It is ACSAP Kenya. And I love it all because seated here are the official members of ACSAP Kenya. Ukweli uongo? Ukweli uongo? So mimi na wewe ndio daraja. Sawa ndugu zanguni, sio NEC ama Harrison ama Oginga ama Msongori ama Mavis. It is me and you that are the bridge between students and policy makers, the architects of an equitable future for young people through advocacy, of which sisi wote tuko perfect, innovation, which is something we need to explore in our counties and even at the national level, and empowerment, which is something I want to understand kila mtu, and I understand very well. Then why do we exist? So why do we exist? One, we exist to unify and amplify county students' voices. Number two, shape policy and socio-economic discourse. Number three, build civic and leadership capacity. And then number four, influence change from a grassroots lens. So hii change tunataka, I'll start from bottom going up. Hii change tunasema an overhaul of the system. Vizungu zingine mnatumia, mimi mtu wa agriculture jamani sielewi, nang'ang'ana kuelewa, but hiyo tu kubadilisha system nini, it cannot start from above there. Ukweli uongo? The system must be changed from down here. So at the grassroots level, tuanze kuambia vijana, nimeona hashtag kazuri pia mimi na kasupport, change ni kuchukua voters card, kuchukua ID, sindio? And a guy from Vihiga has done a very good initiative in Vihiga, sindio? Tuanze na ID. Mbele kitambulisho. Hiyo tuhakikishe tuna vote. Whoever we vote for, I have no power to tell you who to vote for, but you know my stand. When you make your choice, you have started influencing change. Ukweli uongo? So it starts from the grassroots level. And this is a point, sisi, by the way, ACSAP, at the county associations that are our members, we have a very good influence at the county, at the grassroots level. I don't know if you know your power, where you're seated as a president, but I know, for myself in Taita, I have very good influence at the county level. Just as the people have visited me in Taita, ukiuliza mtu kama unajua Msongori, huwa unaambiwa kama umjui, wewe hujatoka Taita. Sinsa? Yeah, so we start from there, then building civic and leadership capacity. Of course, all these things about the system, we need to understand the system, get into the system, and then change the system. Sindio? So we are building our civic and leadership capacity, and then we have shape policy and socio-economic discourse. I guess that I had explained previously, and unite and amplify the county students' voices. Next is, what do we want? What do we stand for? What do we stand for? So number one, si mnaona hii empowerment iko top. Hii empowerment iko, si ati tumeiwacha. So youth empowerment and inclusion. Tusikuwe empower tu, tuletee 1 million na ujui 1 million imetoka wapi na nafaa kuenda wapi. So youth empowerment and inclusion, number one. Number two, equity in education and development. Hapo kwa development sisi vijana tunashtukianga barabara ndio hiyo imetoka Isiolo ishashikanisha Mandera inataka kuingia Mombasa na hata hatujui haturadi kitu. So we need to also have equity. Maybe that road was not relevant for the people of Mandera, for the students of Mandera. Maybe it was not relevant for the people of Isiolo. What was more relevant than that? And also equity in education. Sindio, kuna place zingine walimu hawaingii class na hizo ndio hamtaki kusema. In other areas like Nairobi walimu wako 24/7 class. Turkana, hiyo ndio the same cycle. You see, due to lack of peace maybe. Wanafunzi wajaenda shule almost a year, and we need to ensure there is equity in education. Transformative leadership rooted in integrity, service and innovation. Hapo kwa integrity najua wengi wanakataa juu sasa ile empowerment tushai replace na jina ingine, but hii integrity must be key in everything we do. And then national unity through county level representation. It is visible here from just this AGM that we are seated here. And then county level representation at the national decision making table. I guess this someone here, my good friend here, amesema kuna mtu ametuuliza, Elbas umetuuliza kama tunaongelesha rais. Jamani, mimi nikitafuta rais nikimuongelesha nasalimiwa mpaka simu zangu zinakwama. Sasa kama mtanitetea mimi nitamtafuta kweli? Si mpaka ikwe tunasaidiana. Ukiongelesha governor nikiona unapigwa vita natoa memo. Naambia watu watulie, si ndio? Na mimi nikiongelesha rais ukiona napigwa vita unatoa memo unasema watu wafanye nini? Watulia. This is the voices we are looking for in the representation at the national decision making table. So, and we are looking forward for better tables. We sometimes, if the table that is there is not accommodating you, create another table on top of on that table, and then now make them accommodate the table at the top. So, so this ACSAP could be a table that can be placed on another table and be accommodated. So, yeah. And as we continue, if you have a question, you can raise your hand. So the next is our problem statement. So Kenyan youth face systemic barriers, including limited access to meaningful political participation, economic opportunities, and platforms for constructive dialogues. Are these the challenges you are passing through as young people? Or do they represent the challenges you are passing through? Do they? So, despite being the majority demographic, I realized we are more than 37 million identified as youth by the Constitution below the age of 35 years. We are more than 37 million actually in the country today. Their voices are often marginalized. We are marginalized, very marginalized. Even after tumeandamana, iko tu mtu anaamka anaongea vile anataka juu ako kwa power na ako more than 35 years. So our voices have already been marginalized. True or false? Leading to disillusionment, unrest and disengagement. Are this what you are going through? Sai damu inatuchemka, tuko tu unrest. Kidogo maandamano ra, hata mimi natuma mtu. Kidogo maandamano ra, mshafika ground, si ndio? And also disengagement, some of the things you are feeling affected. So student leaders, as the vanguard of this demographic, lack a unified platform to coordinate efforts, influence policy, and drive sustainable change. So this is the problem statement that we would identify as ACSAP Kenya to now accommodate answers for this problem. Since our next is our unique positioning. I know hii kila mtu atataka kusema our patron. Yes, she's the first one, but not the first one in our list. Rising student unemployment after graduation. True or false? Very true. And this is why mnasema tutafute kazi. Mkianza kutafuta kazi mnakumbuka hata wewe hauna kazi, sasa unashinda utatafutia mtu aje kazi. That is the only problem we are also facing. Hata mimi sina kazi, nitawatafutia aje kazi? Ama kazi yangu ni kuwatafutia kazi. Haya, limited student involvement in leadership and decision making spaces. I'm yet to be convinced how many of us have been involved in even our county level decision making in the recent budgeting process that is almost coming to an end. I really want us to know how many of us have been involved in the process. Genuinely umepata barua, si umejipeleka public participation forum, umepata barua ukaalikwa. Just 2 of us. Oh, including myself, so 3 of us. I've seen Wesonga there. Just 3 of us. So we are at a very limited capacity. Sindio? And then education policies that do not reflect student needs and its realities. I do not want to speak of NFM. It is well explained there. Poor quality and outdated education system. I do not want to speak of one of the systems that might have messed with us, 844, or one that is messing with our younger brother, CBE. Walimu wanajua, naona walimu wamekaa hapa. Yeah, and then limited access to funding opportunities for quality education. This is all about scholarship and even funding my normal university education, sindio? But what is our vision? As ACSAP Kenya, our vision, a Kenya where youth and students are empowered, united, and actively shaping national transformation. That is our anchor vision. A Kenya where youth and students are empowered, united, and actively shaping national transformation. Our mission is to empower and coordinate student leaders for inclusive advocacy, innovation, and influence by building systems and networks that help them to thrive. So, we are here to, as ACSAP Kenya, sisi hapa, sio mimi hapa, sisi hapa, we are here to empower and coordinate student leaders for inclusive advocacy, innovation, and influence by building systems and networks that help them to thrive. So starts from just the small network ya MCA wako, MP wako, governor wako, tukuja hapa juu nipate nimetafuta Kindiki, nimetafuta PS Fikirini, PS yule umeona, CS Muga, hivyo mpaka by the time tunafikia kwa president, we have a well established system and also a well established network to benefit our students in inclusion, advocacy, innovation, and influencing national transformation. And what is our purpose? Our purpose is more in a question form, because Kenya cannot afford to ignore the power of organized, equipped, and united youth leaders. This work matters deeply because we are nurturing the next generation of public servants, civic leaders, and entrepreneurs and change makers for every county. So our purpose is to nurture the next generation of public servants, civic leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers in every county. If today, ile akili tuko nayo hapa ya kuempower vijana vizuri, sio ile ingine, tukiempower vijana vizuri, then if we are given the government as public servants or civic leaders, do you think the generation we will be serving itakuwa ina complain kama sisi? Will it be? So ACSAP is supposed to be there to nurture the next generation. Every time sisi tutatoka, the next generation will be here. We'll nurture the next generation. The next generation will also be here to nurture the next generation. Our core values are unity, integrity, service, equity, and boldness. And then we have a culture, a servant leadership culture grounded in humility, learning, courage, transparency, and mutual respect. We must protect a culture of shared vision, radical collaboration, and fearless action. So I usually love using myself an example for the NEC or any other person around us. Never mistake my lack of appearance in the streets as being fearful. We just said it's more of what we stand for as a team. So we must come up with a shared vision. I guess at the end of it, I'll say something that might be controversial, but grounded on humility, learning, courage, transparency, and mutual respect. So in everything we do as a team, we must maintain a culture of the 5 identified points there: humility, learning, courage, transparency, and mutual respect. And when we decide to do something, let us do it in a shared vision, a shared radical collaboration, and a fearless action. So what is at stake if we don't lead? What is at stake if we don't lead? Number one, continued fragmentation of student voices. If we do not lead, if we do not come out as ACSAP Kenya, hakuna siku student voices zitawahi sikizwa, si ndio? Hakuna siku zitawahi sikizwa. Missed policy opportunities. Of course, we will not even participate in our county the normal level budgeting procedure. And then increased youth disillusionment and radicalization. Every time James anatuambia tunaitwa bandits, tunaitwa terrorists, tunaitwa Al-Shabaab, tunaitwa aje, goons, all that just because we do not want to come out and lead. Sawa. Perpetuation of poor leadership models. They just continue. Leadership models, I know all of us understand leadership models differently. So the poor ones will keep on winning every time, every day. And then a lost generation of future public servants. It will be very sad that kesho tupate rais mwenye bado young people wa hiyo time wataamka waseme must go. It is very sad when I learned that wakati wa Moi wazazi wetu hawa akina James walisema must go. Alafu sisi leo pia tunakuja kusema must go. It is so sad. They ought to have changed something, that we even have a system of letting someone go if we don't want him, than coming to tell him again to go. Sindio? And why ACSAP Kenya and why now? So why ACSAP Kenya? We are the path of grassroots youth leadership in Kenya, or grassroots student leadership in Kenya. As I've initially said, we have a very good network that draws from all the way ward level. All of us are around 70%. Si tuko na ward representation. Si ndio? Tuko na sub-county representation. And then county level. So that gives us a very good pass on grassroots youth leadership in Kenya. And then why now? We are known for influence without arrogancy, collaboration without compromise, and action without delay. But is that really true? Is that really true, my members? ACSAP, is that really true? Okay. Hey, kumbe hii mwaka tumebadilika kabisa. Congratulations to Silicon. You know, last year we were compromised, eh? It is good to confirm that feelings compromised us. So that is why ACSAP Kenya and why now. And if this is not true, we need to take action immediately to ensure the now haituachi. So, and what makes us unique? What makes us unique is, okay, that one has been repeated. Harrison will provide me that slide in a few. But we have this one: what we must excel in. What we must excel in. We must excel in building a nationally coordinated, credible, and transformative student leadership framework that draws its strength from every county. So the strength of ACSAP depends on you. Not you as Elba Sewoi, but you as Tukusa, you as TTSA, you as Kuksa, you as Musa, you as Busia ni Buksa. Bukusa, Bungoma, all those acronyms that I'm forgetting, it will have enough strength if all those counties have enough strength. And then we aim to be known for shaping impactful youth policies, developing principled, future-ready leaders, and mobilizing bold, inclusive youth engagement across Kenya, from the grassroots to the national platforms. I guess that is exemplified from the act from the office of the chair to come up with a national dialogue committee and ensure we are able to first lead as ACSAP in mobilizing bold, inclusive youth engagement across the country, from the grassroots level all the way to the national level, where we are going to engage all that. And what does success look like for ACSAP Kenya? One active association in all the 47 counties. I want to hope we are already at the activeness of all the 47 counties, ndio? Are we? Hebu confirm mwenzako kama kaunti yake iko active. Confirm hapo kando na utuambie amesema aje. Amesema iko active ama inajaribu? Kuna wengine wanajaribu lakini. So we have to ensure if Tukusa you are working, the person next to you have to ensure his association is also active, because hii ACSAP ni yetu. Si mimi nitajaribu Taita iwork kwanza, Kilifi jirani yangu wa work, tukienda hivyo mpaka Machakos, nikipanda by the time nifike Turkana, tunafaa kupatana njiani ukikuja. So sitafika Turkana, nitafika Baringo hapo ama Eldoret, si ndio Elbas? Huwezi kubali nifike Turkana na unafaa ukuje na watu wa West Pokot, Samburu, hivyo. National recognition and partnerships, this is something we need to build together with all the partners we know, with all the recognitions we want. Take ACSAP there. And then grassroots driven youth policies, this is something we need to really advocate for. Youth mentored and placed in leadership spaces. Hii ni muhimu sana. Hii ni muhimu sana because mmekuwa mkiniongelesha wengi hapa kina Alinur wananiambia bana unafaa upewe ile wakati ile docket ya youth ilikuwa vacant. Alinur alikuwa ananiambia hii docket unafaa upewe hii upewe hii. But you see, I have to be mentored and ensure every now and then I'm kept on track, si ndio? So that nikipata hiyo position tusikue kama wengine vile wameishi kukua. Sawa? Yeah, and then the last one but not the least, a seat on every national board or state department. Hii ndio kitu mnataka sasa. Si ndio kitu mnataka? Si tumewaletea? Si tumeileta? Tuitafute sasa, mimi sitaki kuiongelelea. Hii ni it's a matter of kuitafuta. Na kuitafuta iko na mbinu mingi. Kuna mwingine alikuwa ananiambia ikataa kutupea tunaenda barabarani. Nikamwambia nitatuma Ashley aniwakilishe. How do we go, how do we get there? So one, strong governance and operational systems, which we've established. Two, stakeholder partnerships. I don't know if you are ready to engage the government, but I know all of us are engaging civil societies organizations. We are engaging universities, NGOs, and some of us parastatals, but you need to remember that is the government, because when we say the government, everybody thinks of him, sindio? Which is also okay. So think differently about the government and how we can engage them as ACSAP Kenya, but also the county is also at a government level. Yeah, and then we have research, documentation, and advocacy. I really love when we speak from a point of information, fact. Na hii ni kitu James amekuwa akini-challenge sana, nikikuja kupresent ananiambia ngoja. Wapi fact ya hii maneno unaongea? So we have to ensure we research better, document well, and advocate with what we have as facts. Then youth forums and capacity building programs. This is something we are doing, even through this AGM, through our leadership training program, and many more to come from tarehe 4 kuenda mbele. Strategic communication and brand positioning. This where SG wanted me to remind us, it is more of we as a member of ACSAP, mimi na wewe, we are the ambassadors of ACSAP. So kama unataka ACSAP leo ifanyiwe empowerment, you have to place it at a position where empowerment inaweza fika, si sawa? Tusikae tuseme tunataka ikuwe empowered alafu tunaianika huko kama group ya kina nani, hata group ya watu wa bodaboda saa zingine inakuwa empowered. Ni group ya watu wa kuvuta bangi ndio ipatangi empowerment, si ndio? So tusianike huko kama group ya watu wa kuvuta bangi huko kando huko. So we have to place it strategically in terms of how you communicate about ACSAP, in terms of how you represent ACSAP outside there. And then we have strong and strategic youth mobilizations across the country. We can mobilize for a better cause. We can mobilize for ACSAP Kenya. Tuseme leo hata tunafanya maandamano ya amani ya ACSAP. Tuone namba zetu zinaweza kuwa ngapi kwa barabara, si ndio? Si ndio? Mnaweza pull numbers kama hao watu wa Occupy whatever. Mnaweza? Haya, sawa. Barriers to progress and solutions. The first barrier, inadequate funding. Kweli uongo? Bana hatuna pesa, hakuna pesa. Internal conflict, political interference, weak data and visibility. So these things are very, very self-explanatory. Sahi mnataka ni mobilize, ni lobby. There is inadequate funding in the country. But I know, tukishikana hivi, badala unitume, tujitume mimi na wewe, tutapata hiyo pesa. Si ndio? So utanisaidia ku lobby for that one. Internal conflict, already last year we saw. Si last year tuliona wale tulikuwa. A very good internal conflict terrain was there. Political interference, of course, sihitaji kuongelea hii. Mimi niko na maoni yangu. Cooks hapa ameniambia ako na maoni yake. But if we allow hizi maoni zetu ziingie ndani, isha. And then weak data and visibility. So what are some of these solutions? We need to have a resource mobilization desk. I guess this now will bring better brains on resource mobilizing. Like amesema yeye ako na mpango wa kutogopa watu wapate pesa. Si ndio? Labda mimi ni muoga, lakini akikuja on board si anatuonyesha hiyo method yake na tunaitumia mbio. Leadership code of conduct. We need to solve internal conflict. We need to have a code of conduct. Media and watchdog alliances. We need to create more media and watchdog alliances just to ensure political interference is something of the past. And then PR and digital data systems. And when we speak of PR, tumesema kila mtu hapa ni ambassador wa ACSAP Kenya. Digital data systems starts from the websites we have been creating for every county that you have requested to create, all the way to the ACSAP website that should start being worked on from the 4th as we go forward, and maybe in a month's time should be up and running. So we'll have a digital data system. We are just waiting for every county to have their own website because we'll use your links on the ACSAP website. Thank you. Indicators of success: recognition by the Ministry of Education, National Youth Service, National Youth Council, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Council of Governors, and many other, let's say, more of government, NGOs, CSOs, and any other partner we can have. MOUs with county and national government agencies at different levels, just to ensure we have sustainability. Annual policy recommendations taken up, which is something we are going to work on Wednesday. Increased funding and support for the county student association programs. There is that miss there. So we are looking forward to ensure ACSAP is able to fund or support at least an activity or two in every county every year. And then active chapters in all 47 counties as we have agreed. And as we speak, We are a total membership of, across the counties, the data you have shared with us, 263,000 somewhere there members, but you're looking forward to have a total membership of more than 3 million students across the country. Our non-negotiables. Our non-negotiables: 1, no compromise on integrity and youth-first leadership. Number 2, never co-opted by politics or partisanship. Number 3, always consultative and accountable to our constituents. Hii constituents ndio nitaeleza kwa hii yote, sio nyinyi ndio constituents wetu wa ACSAP. Constituents wa ACSAP, it is our students. The 3 million that we are targeting, the 263,000 that we are serving currently. So those are our constituents. Everybody here should be accountable to our constituents. So I am accountable to the constituents of Turkana. Elbas, you are accountable to the constituents in Taita. And that cycle goes on and round the same way. And then service to students, stroke our members, above self-interest. Interest yetu ya kucash out, interest yetu ya transaction isipite interest ya members wetu ama students wa hii nchi. Sini sawa? Tusiweke empowerment mbele, tusahau wanafunzi wako hapo wanatuangalia. Impact of doing nothing. If we do nothing, marginalized county fall further behind. I know myself, my county is marginalized, and I'm really trying to not look as marginalized even in this team where I'm seated with serious counties like Mandera and the likes of Sindio. Hey. Brilliant youth voices remain unheard. How many of us are brilliant here? Imagine your voices remaining unheard. National policy remains detached from reality. There's the reality of the case here, and then there's the fantasy of the government, Sindio? So if we don't tell them, they will not know the reality. They will work with the fantasy of the government. And then another generation grows disillusionized. Just as the example I used there, Moi, Nasasa, the same story there. Loss of credibility for some of us as leaders. Entrenchment of apathy and hopelessness among young people or youth, which is something we are already facing. Fragmentation of student and youth groups will keep on disappearing. Tunatokea, tunapotea, tunatokea, tunapotea. Some of the key partners and stakeholders and coalitions we should make as ACSAP Kenya. 1 is county government. This will help us solve local youth development. National government, this will help us policy integration and youth data. Universities and colleges, student welfare and leadership growth. CSOs, NGOs and faith-based organizations, this is more of impact delivery and assessment of all that. Private sectors, talent development and CSR partnerships. And then students and associations, representation and empowerment. I don't know all of us, wakati tunafanya events zetu za county level, do you partner with almost all these coalitions here? Do you? Ama wengine wanafanya tu na county government, una complain vile governor apeani pesa, una complain, baadaye unafanya tu event hivi. But I'm happy from the leadership training, everyone is confessing that the county government is not that bad. It is just the approach on how we approach everything. Sindio? True of us, for those who have engaged them after the training. Nekeza si umesema hivyo? Sindio? So it depends on how you engage them. Even the national government, how you engage them is how they respond to us. And these are the key partners that you need to even do MOUs with. I know Kaindi is working on an MOU with his county government. I am also working on an MOU with my county government. I've already done like 3 or 4 MOUs with private sector and NGOs. I know the people from Coast, we have all done MOUs with Africa for SDGs. Any other county that has done Africa for SDGs MOU? Any other? You see, so let us not go for money, but go for sustainability. Co-creation with government. How can we co-create with the government? Yes. Thank you. Wow. CSI, corporate social investment. Harrison, note that and change in our document. Thank you. Co-creation with the government. So how can we, as ACSAP, co-create with the government? I've not said support the government. I've said not. Don't misquote me. It is co-create with the government. Thank you. So one, maintain independency through value-based leadership. Number two, open, structured, and public engagement forums. Number three, hold joint initiatives but speak with a youth-first lens. Number four, act as a critical friend, not a political extension. And number five, use data and evidence to justify policy input. And here is where the 1 million starts disappearing, because we are not coming in to be empowered to be a political extension. Even after empowerment, bado, as a critical friend, we must call a spade a spade. Sawa, and every time we speak, usiongelee sasa wengine hapa walikuwa wananiongelesha na washaeka money first lens. Nashangaa kwani students wamepotelea wapi na youth wamepotelea wapi? So let us have a youth first or student first lens in everything we do. Then our balance strategies. One, clear position statements. Two, regular consultative meetings. Three, feedback and public accountability. And four, guarding against political capture. So I want to hope none of us or all of us will never be under a political capture. Not unless, as ACSAP Kenya, we see this is the good for the young people and students of this country. Since and also have feedback and accountability. Yes, Elbas had used that very well. And also regular consultative meetings. I usually love SG akiita meetings huwa mkuji, alafu bado accountability tunataka, but tutaangalia vile tutaendelea kujiconsult as members of ACSAP, si ndio? Si ni ukweli? Lakini mkiitwa meetings huwa mnakuja? Yeah? The last time SG alisema watu hawakuji bwana. Yeah. And also make your position clear. Kama unataka empowerment, ni empowerment. Kama unataka corruption, ni corruption. Tusianze kusema empowerment ambayo imetoka kwa pesa ya corruption, hiyo hapana. We need to be clear strategies to deploy to achieve this needed balance. Clear published position statements. Regular consultative meetings with both the government and our constituents. I agree with this, but huwa saa zingine tunashindwa. Tunaenda kwa PS, kwa mfano the latest PS who gave us mayai, na nitatumia msemo mmoja wa wazungu. PS John Tanui shared with us that we can visit Konza Technopolis with him. He can organize maybe a breakfast with us at that side, but akisema hivyo, after ametuambia hivyo leo, anapotea mpaka unashindwa sasa. Kama niliambia Alinuri mambo, isipokuwa nani atakuwa muongo, ni mimi ama ni PS? Ni mimi ama ni PS? Ni sisi wote, si ndio? But who is the actual liar here? Who is the actual liar in this case? The actual liar is the PS. Ukweli uongo? But sasa nikishafanya hiyo makosa, actual liar wanakuwa wangapi? Mimi na. So I better don't share until I see him now is actualizing. Ndio nakuja nawaambia, na by the way, in my last meeting with the PS, we had agreed to go to Konza, and next week on Friday we are going to Konza. Sio iko better Alex Wesonga? Badala ni kupromise, kumbe nimehesabu mayai nikasahau mayai mengine yanakuwa mayai visa. We yaya utaambia hawa mayai visa inamaanisha nini? Sinsawa? So don't count your chicks before they hatch. And even after they hatch, as an agriculturist, don't count them before you start selling them, because they'll die on the way, most of them. And then feedback loops to ensure student voices are reflected, public reports and accountability dashboard. I guess our treasurer is very good on that, and we should look into that. And then guard against political capture and partisanship. I guess that was already explained. And we have foundational gaps to fix as a team. Sisi kama ACSAP. One, I was very surprised to kona lawyers wengi. Lawyers in the house? Lawyers, hello? Kumbe mko wengi than I expected. So legal and operational identity, that is something we need to fix as a team. Number two, strategic and structural clarity, that is something we need to fix. Communication and digital visibility, I guess this starts with us. I've always engaged Ali Kai Michael, na ananiambia sasa mimi nikipost watu wa repost. Now we have 94 plus members, na kila member hapo akona more than 1,000 wengine. So this is something we need to work as a team, not actually one person or a team. All of us, we need to actualize here communication, resource mobilization. Hiyo si tumeagree. Kila mtu na ile idea yake ya kutoogopa na ya kutofanya nini, a come on board, we work on it. And then strengthening our county chapters, which is this the phase I personally am going to focus on in the next season or period. And then our final word, together, all of us, we are not just leaders, we are a nation builder. ACSAP Kenya is the bridge between today's youth voices and tomorrow's leadership reality. So whatever we want for tomorrow, that overhaul of the entire system, that change that we want, they are just voices. But ACSAP is placed at the position where now we are a bridge in between the voices we have today as young people and the tomorrow leadership reality that we want to achieve. So maybe someone has a question. Maybe someone has a question. Yes, Nekesa.